4v3.
Everyone Esports trying to find what angle they can, trying to find somebody out of position.
Gonna go through on this. Oh, what a hole. Gonna take Plat. White gonna go in.
It's going to be a really, really interesting one.
Oh my god. All of this competition could be so damn close, so I cannot wait for us to finally decide who's going to be the champion. We are expecting some chaos, some great moments.
Beast Mode has killed 3. Only gonna really need that rampage, so it's gonna clear it out. Santi gonna get themselves a big old 4K. Santi getting rid of 3, clearing out the house.
That is crazy.
Nunji actually kills 3 people.
This team feels entirely different on this faster composition. Now Saga4 is hanging around, getting onto the high ground. Post bomb's gonna stick under Leaky. They're not gonna be able to survive it at the end of the day. Blue manages to find a 3K.
Rio shoving this Ana into a corner. Woo! One more for the road for Rio.
That is all signs go. Melophobia with 3. Melophobia starting the fight. They'll end the fight. Oh my god. Beagle Bus, they have to play aggressively into this energy. Popping off in a moment where you needed just that. Ruby in that backline. Oh, the flick. Looking for it. Oh my goodness. The 4th one as well. Do they get the 8? They get the 8.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. The CGL Season 16 playoffs are continuing here in our Platinum Division this beautiful Sunday night. A little bit later than we were supposed to start with, but some flat tires. And now we are here, Rain. We've got Mystic Dead Roses versus Drop the Guns, as I said, in our Platinum tier. And as a result of that, I'm expecting some, you know what, I'll quote my good friend Spectrion, some utter woke nonsense down here in this game tonight.
It should be pretty fun. It's always a treat to watch the Platinum players play. Very chaotic, a little bit hard to kind of follow sometimes, but also this schedule a little bit chaotic. So many matches happening tonight as we're trying to kind of get through the playoffs here. You can see, yeah, we got 6 games lined up today. A couple of them did, of course, already happen on that UK time, but 4 matches here starting out. So lots of Overwatch to be seen here on CGL.
Yeah, I mean, 4 matches is, I think, more than we've had of any tier at all this season. Of course, Mystic Dead Roses, Drop the Guns first, Boob Troop, Zodiacs, in an hour. Yeah, I guess. No, that's happening right now. Smile. It's happening right now because we started an hour later. And then Primordius Rising Subsun also happening. And then 2 hours time, it will be Cuddle Puddle versus Aura Fury. But right now, the game right in front of us, an elimination match and a trip to the grand finals in our Platinum tier on the line. One team will move on to play Ambitious Silver Squad in that grand final. The other, their season is over.
Yeah, so Mystic Dead Roses trying to get the win here, go on, find a rematch against Ambitious Silver Squad in that grand finals. But standing up against them is Drop the Guns. This, of course, the Platinum tier, a little bit smaller than some of the other tiers. So these teams have all played each other multiple times. And so far, Mystic Dead Roses have not been able to get a victory against Drop the Guns.
Yeah, you know, we talked a little bit to Ray. This series hasn't gone more than 4 with them at all this season. So, you know, they're looking for it now, right? You know, when you've got a tier this small, 10 matches during the regular season, you're going to be playing the same teams every other week. So more than any other tier in CGL right now, right? You know this team. You know what they like to play, how they like to play it. Of course, the same can be said for Drop the Guns, right? Both of these teams have played each other. I actually do not know the math on it, as I am going to look that up now. At least, I want to say 5 times, right? 10 games, three teams. You play each team, you know, 5 times. That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and so factoring in the mid-season tournament as well, we dropped the guns and Mystic Dead Roses playing each other there. And yeah, again, Mystic Dead Roses haven't really been able to find this win. Now, first map, we do know where we're going to be heading. Control map, of course, and Oasis going to be on the board here, getting a little bit of a break from the Lijiang Tower parade that we've been seeing a whole lot of on stream.
Yeah, it's very, very fun for me, right? I don't want to say fun. I don't think that's the right word, but it is a departure, right? Because if it's not Lijiang Tower, it's usually Busan, right? That's kind of been the fallback for teams who want to try and throw a wrench in things, but at this point, everybody's prepared for both Lijiang and Busan. So Oasis, truly a wrench in the plans now. As we head into our first matchup, or our first ban here from Drop the Guns, of course, the higher seed.
Yeah, so first map, it's a little bit tricky to kind of pick what ban is going to be most impactful, especially where in Plat, you're going to see a lot more variety in the compositions that are being played. So you have to kind of go on either what you're not comfortable playing against or what you know the opponent may end up with. The Hazard going to be banned out here for Oasis from the side of Drop the Guns.
Of course, Hazard, not as strong as he has been in the past, but still like a very serviceable tank. That said, I think that this ban is more than likely just like, hey, screw you, we don't like your Hazard, so we're going to ban your Hazard. I can imagine that being the idea, because of course, like I haven't ventured down to Plat very often. I think I did one Plat game this season, and I think it was actually the only team that I haven't done, I guess, Mystic Dead Roses, as their ban's actually going to be Lucio here. So I actually do like that ban. In a vacuum, very, very conventional ban.
Yeah, I'm thinking that too. I've been seeing the Lucio ban more and more on these first the control maps happening. Typically having a team move over onto either the Wu Yang or the Kiriko instead, or you just kind of pivot entirely, play for a little bit more of a slow backline. On a break definitely could be an option here on Oasis. Maybe a little bit trickier as we move into University, but on City Center and on Gardens, you have enough high ground to kind of play around that you can play that kind of traditional dive backline.
So, as we get ready to head into map number 1, you know, my math, of course, I'm a little bit off, right, with how many times these teams have played each other. There were 5 teams in the tier at the beginning of the season. Of course, a couple of teams drop out as the season goes on, because, like, if we're looking at this straight in a vacuum, you know, map number 1 on the coming in, look at it in a vacuum. If you're playing in Plat, you've more than likely not got like all the time in the world to put into scrimming all the time, getting ready for these matches. So life happens. A couple of teams drop out. Now it's down to 3. And we've got one of them in the grand finals.
Right. We are starting on Gardens here for our first submap of Busan. Couple of Juno swaps here, potentially just to get that speed ring out. And then, yeah, going to be the Wuyang Kiriko backline for both teams here. A little bit of a change in the tanks here as we have the Winston coming out from FB versus Maestro over on this Ramatra here. So Drop the Guns need to kind of take control of some space here, especially, yeah, moving up to this high ground. You don't want Dead Roses to get set up here with their dive.
And FBG, I'm going to have to be careful of that Reaper. Very, very swift to chunk down that Winston. But, of course, it's Jaden with the first 2 picks of the fight and the series here. Discord Kitten moving down to the low ground after Maestro was able to take care of Sepsai. Maestro going down in the process of trying to find something else, and it will be Mystic Dead Roses. That's wrong, I think.
We have, yes, I think you are right. I think that Mystic Dead Roses should be the... There we go.
Hey,
Thank you,
magic,
Prod.
it's magic. It's magic.
Just like that. We do have Drop the Guns kind of getting control of this point first and looking to kind of push on to Mystic Dead Roses, but a lot of damage being done, especially with this Winston. You need to kind of find these opening picks early. Can't be hanging around in these fights.
Yeah, and Maestro, having switched over to the Winston, going to try and run that counter dive with the help of it would have to be Jackal. But Black Claw getting that first railgun shot into the chest of Discord Kitten Sepsi. Trying to move into this engagement. 2 for 2 now as the fight progresses. It will be a bit of a split engagement here, it would appear, as the Drop the Guns remaining players move over towards this Mega Health Pack side. And now with everybody regrouped, Maestro gonna turn tail and run.
Yeah, Drop the Guns now sitting comfortably on some ultimates to use here. That Tidal Blast from Jaden potentially going over on to FBGM on this Winston. Mystic Dead Roses just have not been able to kind of find an opening pick here to try and flip this point, meaning that Drop the Guns already nearly at that last fight.
And yeah, Kitsune Rush throwing it down here to make this fight more and more difficult as Ray able to get that first blood in this fight. Primal Rages both popped as the Tidal Blast gets thrown in from playback, and it knocks down both Jaden and FBGM. And without the Primal Rage to keep FBGM, he's kind of a non-threat. Discord Kitten pulling out the Dragon Blade, but with 20 HP, they do get one pick, but that won't be more than there won't be any more to get the flip.
Yeah, and you might want that blade back if you Drop the Guns, but you still have at least this Tidal Blast here from Jaden. Sepsi going to be able to build up the overclock as well, but now Dead Roses looking pretty good to hold it here with some ults of their own.
There is a Tidal Blast. Pookie knocked to the ground, TPing through the wall, but unfortunately Discord Kitten is there waiting on the other side of that swift step. 98%, now 99, as Discord Kitten finds that hat trick in the fight. Cleaning up playback, but not before Objective 1 gets captured up here by Drop the Guns.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't even need the blade. They didn't even need the overclock. Just that Tidal Blast over onto the Winston, the engagement in Pookie. She manages to get the TP, but she doesn't get very far away. So immediately they're able to kind of take out the Kiriko, and then everything just kind of falls apart there for Dead Roses. And of course, Drop the Guns got so much percentage on their first cap that you just need that one fight to clean up. Gardens, we'll move over to City Center for our second sub map here. Well, it doesn't look like any changes coming through for Drop the Guns. Dead Roses gonna have Jackal move off of that Reaper over onto the Echo here. This is gonna pair a little bit better, I think, with Maestro on this Winston than that Reaper. Playback actually gonna move over onto the Brigida as well. So you this Brig Kiriko backline. I have to see what the Brig can get done. Try and live a little bit longer against FBGM's Winston.
Well, up to the high ground do these teams go, but Jackal meeting the business end of Discord Kitten, who's really come alive, especially late in that first round, early in this second. Playback, the next target of the isolation. Looking at Pookie or this Winston. Maestro has to jump away. It does get out, but Drop the Guns to take control here first.
Yeah, once again, in control of this point, gonna be able to get yourself set up. Everybody's still on the low ground for Drop the Guns here, so you're looking at kind of just a head-on fight as Maestro takes a big chunk of damage already, just kind of taking this dive on the low ground. At some point, you gotta try and push high.
All right, well, unfortunately, 2 players already dead for the side of Dead Roses here. Playback is able to get one on the exit. Denies the jump to find any more staggers, but really an ill-advised decision there by Maestro to re-engage.
Yeah, the timing's just not quite there for Dead Roses, looking to try and capitalize on some auto-position targets of Drop the Guns, but you just don't really have the numbers to try and follow up with that damage. And now, nearly halfway to that 100% is Drop the Guns. You have the Tidal Blast, again, ready to go here from Jaden. We saw that go over onto FBGM last sub-map, and it worked out very, very well for Drop the Guns. Maestro, oh, it's just so much damage.
Just close into next week, unfortunately, here for Mystic Dead Roses. And without their Winston, they're not able to find any real sort of engagement. There's appears to be some stragglers, but again, maybe just staying in this just a little too long.
Yeah, Mystic Dead Rose is having a really hard time kind of getting through these choke points. You're hanging out in the same kind of spot as the rest of your team. You don't have any angle, so all of the damage to Drop the Guns to have is just being funneled straight into this tank player. Maestro not able to kind of get in without having cooldowns forced out.
All right, well, here is the title blast from Jaden, helping to knock down Pookie and Black Claw for that matter. The Dragon Blade, with the help of the Kitsune Rush, will mean that there's just no chance that any of these Mystic Dead Roses players make it to the objective in time to touch, let alone get a proper fight.
Ooh, yeah, this is a very, very good start here for Drop the Guns. Nice little 100-0 on both of these Oasis points. I will say this was Drop the Guns map pick, so definitely at least coming into this with a little bit of that kind of advantage. But I think that overall, just kind of as these fights kind of went on, it just felt like Drop the Guns were a little bit more prepared for what Mystic Dead Roses were bringing.
I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, Rain. I think Mystic was just not prepared to have to play dive, especially this early in the series. Nobody plays Oasis right now. This is the first time, at the very least, I have casted something other than Lijiang or Busan this postseason. So with the idea that control always has to be first, and the fact that Drop the Guns is the higher seed in this, right? If you're prepared to play Oasis, why not? Right? You can force something that nobody else is preparing for because they're like, oh, you know, we want to play Lijiang Tower. You know, other teams want to play Busan, so, you know, during our scrims, let's prepare for both, right? Nobody's getting ready for Oasis, and that played right into the hands of Drop the Guns, it looked like, because they looked so clean on the dive, the shots, the shurikens, everything went their way on map number 1. So now it's time for Mystic Dead Roses to try and come back and find something, some kind of nook to crawl into of their own in order to find an advantage here against Drop the Guns.
Yeah, and they'll have the opportunity to pick map mode wherever we're going. So this is a big opportunity for Dead Roses. I think that you're totally right. Most teams not playing Oasis. So if you have that card up your sleeve, bring it to the playoffs match. We're down in this lower bracket. Whatever you got to do, you got to do it now. So with Dead Roses being in control here, potentially going to take us over to a more brawl favored map. And okay, another map that we don't get to see a lot here, Plat.
Wow, not a lot ever. I don't think I've ever seen Atlas get picked for, you know, anything here in CGL. Man, I don't even know the points of this map. Like, I know the names of the points on Survasa and New Junk City. I don't know Atlas that well at all. Man, that's interesting. I do think that Flashpoint in general, it doesn't really matter which of the three it is. They all tend to kind of want to run more brawly compositions, which is good because Lucio is going to be back in the hero pool. I wonder. I feel like I've seen like Wrecking Ball be played on Atlas before in like higher levels of the game. So, you know, Wrecking Ball was pretty strong like previously, so that could be why. But I mean, I guess I could see like high ground control on a couple of these points on Atlas being pretty important. So getting the or being able to use the dive compositions would be possible. But with the way that Mystic played on map number 1 and how uncomfortable it seemed they were on dive, I imagine that they're just going to try and put their hands in the dirt and run this hard-nosed brawl.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I do wonder if we're going to get to see some hazard out from Dead Roses, because that was banned out in map 1 by the Drop the Guns, but I also have to wonder if maybe the Hazard was banned out just so that you'd have a better time playing that Winston. If Dead Roses don't necessarily have that in their pool, I think that, yeah, still a very good map to kind of run that Ram. Even maybe Junker Queen, we've been seeing a little bit more showing up here and there on some of these Flashpoint maps, but I don't think that Dead Roses are going to be able to have a ban that's going to necessarily hit Drop the Gun super hard right now, where I'm not expecting to necessarily see this dive come out for a second time from them.
Just have to see. We could see like a question mark ban. Okay, no, you know what? Hey, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of got sliced and diced on map number 1 by the Genji there. So I really don't hate that. It's going to force, I believe it was Discord Kitten playing on the Genji. Gonna have to force them to change it up. We'll have to see what like Drop the Guns' ban, or I guess, yeah, we have to see what their ban is, but I meant to say plan. See what their plan is in general on this map. Because like I said before, this is like the first time I've seen Oasis, the first time I've seen Atlas. I feel like it's the first time anyone has seen Atlas this season.
Yeah.
Unless it was like forced by map pool. But man, I'm really interested to see, even if this isn't like the highest level of gameplay that we're going to be seeing here, irregardless of that, I do think that it's going to be so much fun to see what the idea is here. As Drop the Guns are actually going to go ahead and ban the Wrecking Ball, which I brought up a little bit before, but I feel like that one's kind of a question mark, because it really doesn't seem like Mystic has been all that comfortable trying to play dive comps.
No, yeah, this might just be we don't want to deal with a Wrecking Ball potentially, but yeah, I am fully expecting the Mystic's going to move over onto more of a brawl composition. Like you said, Lucio is going to be back in the mix. Now, it was Mystic that actually banned out the Lucio in map 1, but I think especially as we move into Saravasa, these Flashpoint maps, then you're probably going to want to have some speed, some aura healing. You could play the Juno here, but I think that it's going to be a little bit trickier, still very fragile, even if you try to pair her with that Brigitte. So I think moving over onto the Lucio Kiriko potentially here, probably going to be a little bit more comfortable for Dead Roses, and then they can play more close together because they're essentially playing that dive kind of how you would expect a brawl to be played. So if you just kind of swap out that tank, you'll still be able to play the same style, just a little bit more proficiently.
Map number 2 on the horizon. Of course, this was Mystic Dead Roses map selection. So they've obviously got a plan here for Atlas to try and find that nook. Like I said earlier, right? You've got to find the cracks in the armor, and these really, really niche map picks could be exactly what you need. Though it does look like a rush mirror is on the horizon. It's not exactly... Okay, FBGM goes back over, but I think the backlines are where you're really looking here.
Yeah, totally agree. Dead Roses are going to have to really try and get this early damage in these fights with Pookie over on this Wuyong instead of the Lucio, because Drop the Guns right now, you're going to be able to kind of out-tempo Mystic Dead Roses in this rush, and with Discord Kitten over on the Tracer instead of the Genji now, there's nobody on the side of Mystic that's really going to be able to put a whole lot of pressure on this Tracer on the angle with Jackal on the Echo and Blacklaw over on this Sojourn.
All right, here we go. First objective unlocks here in just a few seconds, since Discord Kitten chases down Pookie in the back line. Another one that goes down as Maestro tries to pull this fight back from the brink, but with no form of survivability other than shield dancing there. There will be nothing for Mystic Dead Roses to grasp onto as the objective flips towards DTG.
Yeah, both the Kirikos dying early in that fight, but having that Lucio speed to just kind of move you back and then re-engaging with that amp worked out really well here. Drop the Guns back in control, and it's going to be hard for Mystic to kind of push into this. The Echo really need to kind of try and find an angle here. You're just going to get torn apart otherwise.
All right, Maestro, though, with a good first pick there on to Ray. Jackal trying to keep this fight going now that Black or Playback has been taken down in the back line. Discord Kitten rotating down through this low ground, and I mean, even with that first pick, there just was no opportunity because they just couldn't speed into the front line.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You take out the Lucio, but the Lucio is, one, going to get back into this really quickly, and then you don't have the speed to just walk in and try and capitalize on that opening. And 80% here, I don't think the Mystic's going to have another recontest here. Drop the Guns holding this choke point quite heavily as both teams just going to, take the stalemate here. Wait to see where this next point's going to go. Black Claw, the 180 walking away. First point going the way of Drop the Guns here. A lot of ults for them to work with as well as we move to the second point.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at, the Annihilation, the Overclock, Sound Barrier, coming up soon, the Kitsune Rush on the way. That said, Mystic Dead Roses are not far behind, right? 80s across the board pretty much, but not even going to get a chance to use any of them. All of them high 80s to the 90s, and it's just tough here for Mystic Dead Roses as they are sent packing back to spawn once again.
Yeah, looking like Bazaar going to be picked up. Yep, once again, Drop the Guns getting their feet on the point here. Still have that Annihilation in the Kitsune Rush, building up a beat as well. Dead Roses just need to find an opening to use some of these ultimates. The duplicate from Jackal potentially over onto FBGM, the Ramatra copy here, going to allow you to stay alive a little bit longer, hopefully build up that Annihilation. Gonna have to be really careful about Discord Kitten here. Everybody's gonna pass through this inside area.
All right, Discord Kitten on the flank, looking for a target. Kitsune Rush throwing it down. And again, the initiative taken so quickly here by Drop the Guns. Jackal going to throw down that duplicate, looking to build a pulse bomb if at all possible. Maestro staying alive for a little bit longer with that Annihilation, taking down one. Jackal good for one with the pulse bomb as well, but unfortunately those ultimates will go to the wayside as Jackal falls into the harbor there.
Yeah, the reactivity here from Mystic is just not going to be enough for them to win these fights. You have these kind of big opening ultimates ready to go, and trying to react to Drop the Guns using theirs first just has not given any favor.
Sound Barrier throwing it down, a 2-0 map scoreline for Drop the Guns, and now this engagement was heavy from Mystic Dead Roses, but they couldn't even get to the point.
No team kill coming through as that's capped up by Drop the Guns here. Over to Resort for our third point, potentially the last point in this map, as Drop the Guns is going to be able to once again get themselves set up first here. A pulse bomb thrown out by Discord Kitten. Doesn't quite find a connect on Dead Roses. So we do have Playback swapping over onto the Baptiste here. So looking to have a little bit more healing. At least you have that lamp now. A little bit of a get out of jail free card. But still going to be kind of at the mercy of this Tracer.
Well, Annihilation from FBGM. Nothing really defensively outside of that Immortality field. In the second it goes away, FBGM is good for 2, does end up falling to Maestro, but the damage well done.
Yeah, and the point has been capped up by Drop the Guns here.
Well, hang on. Maestro lives? That's crazy.
Somehow manage it. That's good for Dead Roses here. You really don't want another stagger kill. You need to get a full regroup here. You have Black Claw that has this overclock. You can see that they're pathing out towards kind of the harbor here, trying to get up on this high ground to pull out this overclock.
Well, Jaden with a well-placed kunai. Pookie falls to start the fight out here. Sepsai on the low ground, going to answer the overclock on the other side. Some nice shots to help chunk down Maestro, who gets cleaned up there by Jaden. Now a 1v1. We're going to be calling for a pause here from the side of Mystic Dead Roses, but I'm gonna be honest with you here, Ryan. This map is over. At 80% and almost a team kill on the way, even if they, fix the problems that they are facing coming back into this map, they're gonna be very hard pressed to get a touch at all.
Yeah, and the touches that they've had, like the fights that they've had where there's all 5 haven't really been going their way, just haven't really been able to get that opening kind of pick or alt usage. So coming into like a last fight territory where you're probably not going to even have all 5, definitely not favoring Dead Roses getting back into Atlas here. Now, that last fight, it's unfortunate. I like the pathing from Dead Roses, taking that high ground. You get Black Claw set up there, but you're just not quite fast enough with that overclock. So you're kind of reacting to drop the guns here, as we do have both teams ready to go. But yeah, there's that late stagger kill. Black Claw not going to be in for this last contest. I don't even know who's going to be able to get the touch.
FBGM catches a glimpse of Jackal there, unfortunately. Do get overtime moving. There will be a pick there too for Sepsai. Kitsune rush down from Jaden to meet the players of Mystic Dead Roses at their entry point, and the one touch is all that they will be afforded. And Rain, I think that we absolutely saw the level of proactivity that Lucio can provide on this map here from Drop the Guns. Even on the first map, we saw the proactivity being in favor of Drop the Guns at almost all points, but it really hurt Dead Roses in that map that they did not have a way to either engage nor disengage.
Yeah, I think that as we come into like the plat and the diamond tiers, kind of going first in the fights is oftentimes what's going to really be winning you these fights, because your opponent isn't necessarily going to be able to react with kind of the right response a lot of these times, just don't have that kind of practice in it. So if you have the Lucio, if you're going first, it's probably going to work out in your favor so far. Drop the Guns making it happen. But we will have a quick break here. Mystic Dead Roses will be able to select where we're going for our third map. So we will be back with that after a short break.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Right now, Mystic Dead Rose is on the verge of elimination this season. Drop the Guns has played exceptionally well this evening. So, you know, staring down the barrel of a 3-0 exit, see what Mystic Dead Roses has got left in the tank.
Yep, they do at least have the map selection for us ready to go. It is going to be Circuit Royale. Mystic Dead Roses opting to take us over to this escort map, the more kind of, you know, poke favored composition here. The brawl didn't really work, the dive didn't really work, so we're gonna switch it up, move over to this long range map.
Yeah, you know what? Get the trifecta going. You know, you got the dive, you got the rush. Let's get the poke going. Sigma, Orisa, I guess Ramatra could still work here. The thing is about like running a Ramatra composition, I just don't think you can if you're running into a mirror with a Lucio and you don't have one of your own. Ramatra is just so hard to do without the speed boost. So I am looking towards Mystic Dead Roses, actively wanting to do this this poke thing, right? So if you are, you have to ban a tank here. You have to ban like Ramatra or something, because if you ban any other character in either of the other roles, you're just not going to be able to play Sigma. That's just how it's going to be.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, they already used, Mystic Dead Roses already used the Lucio ban in map 1, so you can't take that off the table. So I absolutely agree. Going for the Ramatra ban, probably going to be your best bet here to try and at least play some folk. Oh yeah, still good. Yeah, exactly. Definitely still strong ban out there, but that does of course leave that Ramatra Lucio rush on the table here if Drop the Guns want to still run that, but they could also absolutely just kind of pivot over and maybe play some poke themselves.
Yeah, like, I think the thing about this ban, the Orisa ban specifically, is that you also do like the Ramatra, right? So whether you have the Lucio or not, if that's what their idea is, wasn't ever really going to change the fact that they want to play Ramatra. As we get a Widowmaker ban from the side of Drop the Guns, that's just like the Circuit Royale ban. It's like, if you can't ban Sigma, you ban Widowmaker, which fair enough. But back to Mystic here. The Orisa, you know, obviously I don't think either of these teams were super keen on playing the Orisa. I don't think she's in the strongest position that she has been in recent memory. But ultimately, it was a protect ban on potentially both the Sigma and the Ramatra, so that if the Sigma doesn't end up working out, if that's even what they want to do at all, they can just head back over to the Ramatra.
Yeah, we'll see what Mystic is planning here. On the verge of elimination, they need to win Circuit Royale, and then they need to win back-to-back map picks from Drop the Guns if they want to come out on top of this lower bracket finals and move on to face off in the grand finals. Starting out on Circuit, we'll see what both of these teams have in mind. Mystic going to be on the attack, and you called it there, and potentially this Sigma coming out here, is we actually do have a bit of a role swap happening as well. Blackclaw going to be over on the tank now, Playback over on the DPS, Maestro over onto the support here. So a little bit of a switch up happening here for them to try and find their footing here on Circuit. For the defense, Drop the Guns are still going to be on this Ramatra Rush composition. Interesting to see Discord Kitten coming out on the Venture here.
All right, just a few seconds now, and we will be into Circuit Royale. Jackal not committing to that junk rat. Instead, it is the Pharah here. The pocket's going to be crazy from Pookie. See the spam from the... That's an insane sentence to say in like a proper a proper like esports setting. That's awesome. I love that name, by the way. Pookie is such a great name to be competing under. Just a little bit of spam right now, which is, you know, exactly what Mystic wants to do, and unfortunately Discord Kitten able to catch Maestro out of position there, and it will mean that Mystic will have a little bit tougher of a time breaking this line.
Yeah, more poke damage being done in here from Mystic, but you have to wait a little bit before you can kind of push aggressively. Maestro needs to get back into the mix here. Drop the guns. Sep falling very, very low. The dynamite from Playback going to create an opening here for Mystic to try and push forward.
And a nice job there from Jackal to avoid the spam there of the Venture. Tried to find maybe a little bit of chip damage, but able to get away with the rocket jump. As the spam continues, and another heady there from Playback puts Discord Kitten down. This Mercy damage boost already proving to be kind of a menace.
Yeah, they're pushing this payload forward. Jackal nearly has the barrage. Black Claw, okay, really showing up on this tank roll and taking FBGM out of the mix here. I mean, Drop the Guns aren't really going to have an opportunity to even contest. Yeah, that is going to be first point picked up by Mystic here, and Jackal does fall, but that's the thing. You got the res. Pookie gets the res.
Yeah, Black Claw also able to catch Sepsi without any of those cooldowns to get away. A nice little accretion there as the spam continues to come through. Rocket Barrage ready to go for Jackal. The ultimate's overwhelming here for Mystic Dead Roses. They get rid of the healing pylon there of Maestro. But this damage boost is still being so annoying, and the Bob chucks Ray into the sky where Playback is just skeet shooting on the Frog, and now FBGM is caught by Bob in this backline. Uncomfortable, cannot get away without taking significant damage. Bob will fade away here, but Playback again! Jesus Christ! This guy is a menace on this Ash the Headies. Too tough. Rocket Barrage, good for FBGM, but Mystic Dead Roses looking like a whole new team because, you know what? They basically are.
Right? Yeah, shuffling these roles, definitely working here for Mystic. I'm really liking this look that they're giving us. I think that having the Mercy Pocket as well, really impactful here. The damage that's coming through from Jackal and Playback has been so impressive. Now, moving into this third point, nearly 5 minutes in the time bank for Mystic to work with here. Both those support alts, and you still have this Gravitic Flux. Now, the Gravitic Flux and the Sun combo could be really, really nice here for Mystic, but Drop the Guns do have that beat. They do have the cleanse. Discord Kitten has also moved over onto the Reaper as we move into this third point. It's going to be a little bit more enclosed, but against the Ashe and the Pharah, there's not going to be a whole much you can do, so you're just going to have to try and take down Black Claw.
Ray caught out again. An excellent dynamite helping to put the chip damage on to the Lucio and the Reaper. Force the Reaper to get away. Nemesis form in for FBGM to try and live. A rock out, not going to connect. The accretion wide left there for Black Claws. But, of course, that Gravitic Flux still ready to go. Sepside on the off angle. Has to escape. Has the overclock. Pops the overclock, but Playback decapitates. This ends. Hell yes, it does. The shots too good from Playback. The Gravitic Flux good for one themselves. Ray comes back, but the off angle from Playback with the help of our good friend Robert, helping to take down FBGM. Now the Headies coming through again. Jackal, good for Ray. They're trying to take care of Playback on this high ground, but there's just nothing that these players for the side of Drop the Guns can do. Maestro with the poke. Objective rolling through. Racing toward completion. FBGM just absolutely shoved to the side with that annihilation. A speed run of Circuit Royale there for Mystic Dead Roses.
I mean, like, where Mystic Dead Rose is hustling us, where the first two maps just trying to catch, you know, Drop the Guns off guard, and then you come in swinging on this third. You've moved everybody around, looking so much more comfortable in this composition here. And Drop the Guns, I mean, this is where that Lucio, you know, theoretically being able to kind of speed into your opponent should be a little bit, you know, better when your opponent doesn't have any speed. But this time, Mystic Dead Rose is doing such a good job of getting the damage in before Drop the Guns could kind of go for that initial engagement. Yeah, you get caught off guard a couple times, but I just, the damage from Jackal and Playback and Maestro. It's just been so good. It's so impactful.
I mean, everybody is playing their role perfectly, right? The Lucio is very, very strong into poke compositions, like you said, right? But if you're killing the Lucio before they can even get close to you, which they've done 4 or 5 times at this point, like, Mystic Dead Roses are playing the space. They're playing this composition perfectly. They know exactly how far they have to, space themselves out from the side of Drop the Guns. And I mean, that's exactly what you need to do on a poke composition like this Sigma.
Ooh, okay, and Drop the Guns. FBGM is coming out on the Winston here. This is going to be really, really hard for him to kind of stay alive through all of this poke damage. It's very fascinating. The auto BAP as well. Not really feeling the synergy here.
Yeah, no, this comp is very, very weird for Drop the Gun. Sepsai has to back down. Took a couple of shots there. I mean, they're just waiting for a headshot from Discord Kitten, but that time will not come in this first engagement as Playback, with the help of that Mercy damage boost, good for the pick. FBGM has to get away.
I'd really love to see a swap come here from FBGM. We see that you're just waiting here on this corner, waiting for a chance to engage, but all the while it's just all of this damage coming in, and you just find the opening picks if you're Mystic.
Yeah, I mean, Pookie right now doing a great job switching this beam between Jackal and Playback, who are just absolutely taking over this lobby. Right now, Black Claw not appearing in the kill feed, but still commanding so much space and presence.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you need from your Sigma, right? Allow the space so that Jackal and Playback can just sit back, do the damage, find the shots, and I mean, they are hitting the shots. Drop the Guns, no changes yet here, trying to find a couple of angles. They've moved Jaden up to this high ground. It's still to dive in.
Yeah, trying to get Discord Kitten rolling on this Genji with the dive, but still nothing going. A good shield there from the Sigma as this Ashe continues to be an absolute menace. The Heady's unstoppable from Playback. Bob gonna be thrown into the back line there. A nice shot onto Sepsai. Maestro does get dashed down, but with that focusing beam, there's going to be a very, very easy opportunity to get this resurrection off.
Yep, the Valk is out from Pookie. You're going to be able to get Maestro back into this fight. Like you said, the duplicate's ready to go here from Jackal if it's needed, but Yeko going to be able to just fly straight up into the air, and that's Mystic just holding strong here, doing a really good job of kind of going first in these fights as well. We saw Playback, as soon as that Bob is available, you throw it in, you're trying to disrupt Drop the Guns, you do exactly that, you end up splitting the team, and then even though Drop the Guns get that kind of opening pick, you don't have the space available to kind of push forward and take another one.
Okay, FBGM getting that nano boost, good for 2. Gonna be 3 with the left hook across the face of Maestro, converging back to the point where there's only a lone Sigma left. But with all that time bank gone, it's gonna be very, very uphill here for Drop the Guns.
Yeah, Mystic is gonna get probably another opportunity to recontest here. We can see FBGM kind of pushed up forward here. You at least have a lot of ults to work with, but Sepsai taken out here. I mean, that's an opening here for Mystic to push in and try and stop this cap.
Right, Captive Sun invested here, and the shots are just so clean. Maestro from the sky. Very confident. Discord Kitten turning around with that Dragon Blade to take care of Maestro. There is a Primal Blade being invested, but Discord Kitten super low. Maestro able to get rid of the Sigma. Will be good for the objective, but a very slow moving there, and it required a bunch of ults.
Yeah, it burned through everything except for that overclock, and Sepsai wasn't in the fight because he got picked off first, so you didn't have an opportunity to use that overclock. At least you have it for this next one. It is going to be the Gravitic Flux ready to go from Black Claw, and this Valkyrie from Pookie as well. I mean, we've seen her basically just use it to kind of stay alive and confirm reses, so Mystic Dead Rose kind of have an opportunity to, even if they lose one in this fight, you can pop that Valk. You should be able to get that res off once again, but looking to try and stop this payload progression on second.
Well, there is the OC Playback, good for 1 with the disruptor shot, and this fight is taking place so far in the back of the map that the payload has just been moving for free this whole time, and they were able to force 3 ultimates out in a futile fight for Mystic Dead Roses. So there's just, I mean, just completely unimpeded on this second point.
Yeah, we did not see anybody from Mystic touch the point on second here, and this is more what I was expecting to see from Drop the Guns. Getting aggressive, trying to take these fights first, and this is what's going to lead them into a third point. 3 minutes in the time bank. Are going to have a little bit less than Mystic if they complete this third, but now looking like you have some momentum going here. Jackal trying to build up to this duplicate. Blacklaw has moved over onto the Diva here. Going to be able to kind of control a little bit more of this high ground as opposed to playing that Sigma.
Yeah, of course. Oh my goodness. The shot's just too clean. Discord Kitten taken out before the dive can come through. You know FBGM was looking for the engagement with the help of their Genji. Of course, the point still moving here. Good little coach gun to knock FBGM back down to the low ground. Jackal going to throw that duplicate out onto the Sojourn. Building up very close to an OC. Dragon Blade now. The pull, and I mean, this is so unfortunate for Discord Kitten. Faces down at the cleanse, but the rest of the fight going very handily in the way of, well, very handily in the way of Drop the Guns for the moment, but Playback throwing down Bob to help stabilize the objective with a comfortable, 1200 HP object on that objective, and even this Amp Matrix from Ray will not be enough to stabilize.
You can see everybody from Mystic just waiting it out, hiding around the corner so that no value kind of gotten from that window on the side of Drop the Guns, and now gonna back up. Now, Blacklaw is out of mech right now, so Drop the Guns have a small window to try and push back in here, trying to take the high ground away from Mystic.
Okay, I mean, I don't hate that engagement tactic onto the high ground, but Jackal, with the help of Pookie, is able to back it down and escape. FPGM does, of course, have the Primal Rage, but Discord Kitten already dealt with swiftly, and not even an opportunity to use the Primal Rage there, just died so quickly.
And now Mystic are going to be able to get some stagger kills here. They have the opportunity to just kind of push up, kind of take some of the space. Nice little pinch there from Blacklaw's. Playback just cannot be stopped on this Ashe, and 1 minute in the time bank here for Drop the Guns to try and complete circuit. You still have that Primal ready to go, but now you're looking at this Kitsune Rush from Maestro. Jaden not going to be able to match that. The bomb ready to go for Blacklaw as well. I expect probably going to see that for the remake. You could potentially try and find kind of a bomb on the point if you can get that bubble out. But right now, Drop the Guns, I mean, you don't have a lot of time to work with. You need to find something.
All right, well, here's the engagement onto the high ground, but there are 5 players for the side of Mystic Dead Roses on this high ground. But Jackal, the lone man on the far side of the engagement. They do find a trade as Pookie has to fly away. Kitsune Rush invested as the Primal Rage. Good to track it down. Pookie on that Mercy. FPGM good for a couple more with the Primal Rage. Gonna throw down the self-destruct, and incredibly confident play there from FBGM as overtime begins. But Playback returns from spawn with a pick onto Discord Kitten. Of course, you see these respawns are so much stronger here for Mystic Dead Roses, and with Bob controlling space again, so strong. Playback, with the help of our good buddy in the top hat, lock down map number 3, Circuit Royale, the Poke. Too much for Drop the Guns.
Yeah, loving this kind of roster lineup that Mystic have come out with here. I think that the Mercy pocket as well. I mean, in Plat here, sometimes you're having a really hard time trying to punish Mercy, and Pookie did such a good job kind of having that Valkyrie ready to go, staying alive through a lot of this, getting the reses, really enabling those DPS from the side of Mystic. And Drop the Guns, I mean, you had some, good fights there, got all the way through second, but as soon as Mystic were able to kind of get themselves set up on their high ground positions, that dive on, you were either getting coach gunned away from the high ground, or you were just getting a whole bunch of damage from the Ashe and the Echo as you try to get up there and displace them.
why was that man playing Brigitte, by the way? I mean, playback was just so effective on that Ashe. It was crazy. Just headshot after headshot. You know, to quote a very famous moment in Overwatch League history, right? But it's proper, right? Playback was just so strong, controlling that space from afar with the help of Blackclaw, which, like I said earlier, wasn't appearing much in the kill feed, but on the Sigma, you often aren't unless you're finding like a big gravitic flux. And that's not to say Blackclaw never appeared in the kill feed, because there were a few plays from the Sigma that did end up, you know, finding final blows, but Blackclaw played that poke tank's job is so perfectly, commanding respect, commanding space, staying far away, knowing who to target with those orbs, right? Always staring down into the eyes of Ray on that Lucio, especially on their attack, and able to get rid of that Lucio so efficiently. So Mystic Dead Roses, they have, you know, a win con. Unfortunately, they're staring down, you know, 2 more drop the guns map picks, which is not the best spot to be in, but I'm really interested to see if Mystic is going to keep a similar idea moving forward. Maybe not the Sigma, but you keep the lineup the same because it's where you found the most value.
I think it's a fantastic idea as we head into New Queen Street. Drop the Guns map pick taking us over to the push map mode, and it's going to be good here for Drop the Guns. I mean, Oasis, Atlas, these kind of maps where you're playing a little bit more kind of in an open space, more push and pull to be given here. So taking us over to New Queen Street, going to fit back into that style of those 2 map types where you already got the victories. And this is a lot of pressure. Mystic Dead Roses, this is good. In the past, the longest that the matchup between these 2 teams has gone is to this 4th map. So Drop the Guns looking to lock this down, shut down this momentum that Mystic Dead Roses is trying to build up from that circuit win.
And, you know, New Queen Street, as we stare down map number 4, is like a very, you know, open map in terms of what you can play, right? There's so much that, you know, you would be able to play on New Queen Street, whether it's the rush or the dive, or if you're really confident on the composition, the poke can work. It's obviously not optimal on New Queen Street. I would tend to think that like a dive composition with a wrecking ball or a diva is far more effective on New Queen Street. But with the way that Mystic played on Circuit Royale, they can effectively take care of these, you know, mid to long range sightlines on New Queen Street, because there are a couple, you know, I'm thinking of the early part of the map right in the middle. That whole corridor is very long, and there is a couple of places where the high ground control can be very strong, where the Ashe can just rain down if you want to keep that Ashe Mercy pocket duo going. I obviously don't think it is like the best, most peak pick, but it could be for Mystic Dead Roses.
Yeah, I have to think that Drop the Guns might be considering potentially an Ashe ban or the Mercy ban even. I would, you know, Mercy, okay, yeah, but definitely just the damage that was being put out here. Drop the Guns have to be considering trying to take one of these kind of key components off the table, especially if we're assuming that Mystic is going to be sticking on that same roster that we saw on Circuit here. So Drop the Guns having the first ban here on New Queen Street, going to be able to set the tempo here for what Mystic is going to have to run for. Not going to go for the Ashe ban, but is going to take the Echo off the table here for we're at New Queen Street.
So the good thing about this ban, right, for the side of Drop the Guns, is that even though I feel like the Ashe was more important on map number 3, Circuit Royale had playback being very effective on the Ashe. they have a little bit of like wiggle room, right? Because this isn't match series. This isn't match point for Drop the Guns. It's match point for Mystic. So you ban the Echo out here. Try and take away one of the other things that made that composition so strong on Circuit Royale. And if you lose, right, then you go for the Ashe ban. Hit them where it really hurts, when it truly matters. So now as we head to Mystic Dead Roses ban, they're going to get rid of the Winston, which I don't hate at all. It seems like Drop the Guns has really been favorable towards Winston compositions in general, even where they're not exactly favored.
Yeah, and I think that on New Queen Street, you have that little bit of a high ground to work with, and Mystic were having kind of a hard time playing against this dive, even on Circuit. You know, there's a couple of moments where when the tempo was kind of going there for Drop the Guns, they're able to really control a lot of space and kind of catch Mystic off guard with this Winston. So banning it out here, forcing Drop the Guns probably back over onto this Ramattra. I think good matchup here for Mystic.
All right, map number 4 on the horizon. Mystic Dead Roses staring down elimination here, fighting tooth and nail, turn the tables on map number 3. I mean, I'll be honest with you, Rain, those first 2 maps were not close at all. So I'm really happy to see Mystic with life here, heading into what could be their last couple of maps of the season.
Yeah, and just a reminder that this Plat division NA, we only had 5 teams starting out here, and you know, these teams facing off each other twice in the regular season, week 4 and week 7, both times going the way of Drop the Guns. That mid-season tournament, Drop the Guns taking the 3-0 against Mystic Dead Roses. And as we head into this winners round or losers round 2, I mean, Mystic are trying to do what so far has not been possible. They are going to have some swaps here, as we are going to see playback on the DPS, I believe, Blackclaw on the tank, Maestro moving back over to the support. So I think, Fletch, that this is going to be the same lineup that we saw on Circuit.
Yeah, I was going to be super surprised in the event that the lineup switched in any meaningful way, right? They looked their best with the 5 players that they have in this order. You would have to really try to convince me that it would have been better to switch it back to what it was before. But they don't. No one needs to be convinced. They're coming into New Queen Street with the same 5 players and the same 5 roles. So now it comes down to what is the play here for New Queen Street. Both of these teams going to have to update their lineups hero-wise pretty consistently. Ramattra, Juno, Lucio.
This is a lot of speed here for Drop the Guns. I mean, this could work out well for them if they're able to really kind of use these effectively, because Mystic Dead Roses having Pookie over on this Mercy, I mean, that is kind of a hero that you'll be able to catch up pretty quickly. But no, it is going to be the swap over on to the Kiriko off of that Juno, as we just, you know, we're just kind of guessing at what's happening right now. We do have Mystic at least running that similar composition. We do have no, it was actually the Diva. Still gonna have that Ashe. I like playback here on the Ashe Jackal, not on the Torbjorn, over on the Tracer.
Yep, switches over in the time between we saw things and we did not. Unfortunately, going down here first. Very cute crosshair for playback. Didn't notice that on the last map. I think mostly because the inside was kind of blocked out by the orange of Circuit Royale, but with Maestro going down, it's going to be tough for Mystic to push anything here.
Yeah, this is Drop the Guns. I mean, back on a very comfortable composition here with FBGM over on the Ram. This is the typical rush composition. Sepsai on this Sojourn, finding that headshot onto Black Claws. This is an early lead being gained here. Drop the Guns. Mystic Dead Roses not going to have any swaps here. We'll have to wait a little while for Black Claw to get back into the fight here. As you're looking to just try and find an opening pick. It's a lot of pressure onto Playback, trying to find one of these squishy targets.
Right, moving towards this objective capture, there will be a quick touch before anything can come to fruition. Shots not quite landing here for Playback early in this engagement. Finds a couple into some meaningless targets there, unfortunately. Discord Kitten being caught on fire here, so we see Playback starting to have impact again. Moves over to the Sojourn, and good for 2 in this fight. Bob, really not even really sure where Bob is on the map right now. Didn't see him even go down, but it is good enough for Mystic Dead Roses to take this fight.
Yeah, finally stabilizing here. Now that forward spawn was picked up by Drop the Guns, and not enough staggers kind of coming through from Mystic to have anybody from Drop the Guns get that long spawn. So we're looking at another fight that's going to be happening kind of towards the middle of this point, which means that a lot of pressure. Mystic Dead Roses need to win this second point if they want to get any progress here. You have this Valkyrie, you almost have the Kitsune Rush to work with here, but this Annihilation from FBGM could be kind of detrimental to Dead Roses because you don't have any of that speed to cut out.
Maestro coming back around the corner with that railgun locked and loaded, and Black Claw also meeting the same fate. Gonna opt to not use that that self-destruct to get back into mech, unfortunately. Playback does get tracked down by the Dragon Blade, but it's immediately brought back, and you would love to have that self-destruct to have Black Claw stay in this fight, and Ray cannot get taken down, and now it's Playback and Pookie in the backline alone.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, the double disruptor field kill here. That's just gonna secure this fight for Drop the Guns. They get to keep pushing this payload forward. Pulse Bomb, a lot of damage to Ray, but not enough to kill him. Is still walking forward here. Drop the Guns still have 4 ultimates to go. Just that blade that was committed here, so you still have that Annihilation. That bomb from Black Claw could be big on this third point, but it's going to be the rushes to start.
But it's Sepsai this time being the lobby admin. We saw a lot of it from that Playback on the Ash last map, but Sepsai has come back to remind us who is boss. The Sojourn taking over, and now it's going to be a very, very quick touch if there even is one. Okay, Black Claw will use the overrun to get back to the objective. Has to use the I mean, there's just nothing going here for the side of Mystic Dead Roses. And back to the regularly scheduled programming, it would appear for Drop the Guns, just absolutely raising this new Queen Street.
That's very, very fast pace here as we do have the conclusion. A little bit flat here, unfortunately, for Mystic Dead Roses. That roster swap not making the same impact as we moved over onto Push as we saw on Escort, but really great performance here from Drop the Guns to find the victory, continue kind of this domination over Mystic Dead Roses, and secure themselves a spot in that grand finals.
Yeah, unfortunate end, but we saw something fun and interesting out of Mystic Dead Roses, and really this whole series. You know, we got to see 2 maps that I have not seen this postseason in Oasis and Atlas, which was fun. But you know what, Rain? I think that I will save my thoughts for the future when we come back to talk to a rep from the side of Drop the Guns, see what their thoughts were about this series, what really happened on map number 3 potentially, and just basically see how they're feeling moving into the grand finals.
All right, we'll be back after a quick little break. We'll get this interview with Drop the Guns set up. Don't go anywhere. We will hear from our lower bracket winners just in a moment.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We've got Discord Kitten and Sep is High here coming in from Drop the Guns, our second representative in this Platinum Tiers Grand Finals. You two make it through the absolute gauntlet that was this one-game lower bracket. How are y'all feeling about this upcoming Grand Finals?
I feel pretty confident. Obviously, our last game against Ambitious Silver Squad was a little bit rough. However, I think we can change a lot of things, and obviously 2 weeks is a lot of time. So it's really just about making those adjustments and playing to our strengths. And I think there's as good a shot as not. So I'm really hopeful and really confident.
Love it. I don't know if you guys have been following along any of the streams here, but we have been seeing a whole lot of Lijiang Tower and Busan as our first map. Now, getting to see Oasis here, I mean, Fletch and I both said it. I don't think that either of us have had the opportunity to cast that map in this postseason. Is that something that you guys did on purpose, or is it just Oasis was a more comfortable map for you?
For us, I guess, like, we saw that Lijiang was close versus Mystic Dead Roses versus Ambitious Silver Squad, and we just saw it was a very close match, and so I figured they were a lot more comfortable here, I guess, and I felt we were more comfortable on other maps and Control, and we've played a lot of Lijiang, so, change of scenery is nice too, so.
Always. No, that's exactly what I said, is that it's nice to see something different between Lijiang or Busan. It's nice to go somewhere else, but moving toward that third map, though, the only time where y'all looked particularly weak during this series, I want to get y'all's insight as to what went wrong on the Circuit Royale that led it to Mystic being able to win so handedly.
I definitely would say I was giving Ash free shots at my face for most of that match, so that slowed us down considerably and gave them the advantage. Hats out to him for sure, or her, I don't know, sorry. But some solid aim performance. I had to adjust my play for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys adjusted super well. We thought that maybe having Mystic still on that kind of same roster moving into New Queen Street would be a little bit closer, but at what point kind of in that map did you guys realize that you were probably going to be taking it all the way?
Oh, well, it felt different for me right off the bat without so much pressure on me.
Well, yeah, once I saw Sep in the kill feed, I just knew it was over.
I get rattled when I get a lot of attention.
All right, well, all of the attention unfortunately will be on you guys as well as Ambitious Silver Squad in that grand final. Now, before we send y'all to go get ready for that grand final, is there anything you'd like to bring up that maybe we did not, or any shout outs that you would like to make?
Sure, let's shout out to the Overmind Sports League that is Drop the Guns team, and all you guys at CGL making it happen. It's awesome. We all really appreciate it.
Yeah, and big shout out to Nax, our coach, for giving us a ton of time. Really, obviously, bounces his own gameplay in Diamond tier, and obviously they're looking to have a very good shot at winning that tier. And I'm very hopeful for them, and he's worked very hard with us to get us ready for our game, so I'm very thankful for that.
Awesome. All right, well, Discord Kitten, Sep, thank y'all for coming in here, and we wish y'all the best of luck in that final game of the season.
Thank you guys. Thanks for everything.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Right, y'all too. All right, Rain. Well, that will do it for this one here. But there's a lot still going on tonight. At least one more match. I haven't been able to keep tabs on the other two matches that were going on at the same time. But a bunch of stuff going on here tonight. 3-1, of course, the scoreline for our game. Boop Trope still in map number 3 against the Zodiacs, up 2-0. And Primordius Rising able to get the 3-0 over Subsun in their matchup. So, these games are all appearing to come to a close in this first wave, but we still got one more, Cuddle Puddle Aura Fury, in about an hour.
Yeah, that'll be an exciting one to see. Of course, yeah, Boob Troop, excited to see kind of the conclusion of that, the open division tier. Definitely a lot of really strong competition there. But yeah, it's exciting that the night is not done yet here on CGL. And for such a long day, there's been so much action.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun coming up here tonight. Unfortunately, this is where we bid adieu to Mystic Dead Roses. A valiant effort, just fall a little bit short. Drop the guns, looking very confident, I should say, heading into that grand finals. You know, that Circuit Royale, definitely a bit of an outlier map out of the 4 we played tonight. So looking very confident. We're wishing best of luck to both of those teams representing the Platinum tier in the grand finals. But unfortunately, for me at the very least, I don't know about you, Rain, this is going to bring my game here to an end tonight. Got a bit more action to come up on the other side, so thank you all for watching this one, and we will catch y'all in just a little bit.